Like, subscribe, share, man. Like, subscribe, share. How y'all doing today, man? It's bright and early, and I got to just strolling through the news sector and everything, and this Jordan Neely situation is kind of, man, it's definitely messed up. So rest in peace to that brother, but share y'all how I feel on Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, subscribe, and share, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, Chicago's finest, man. What's going on with the people, man? Hope everybody that do catch it later, step in, or anything, have a good one, man. Bless, man. Man, starting off, man. Rest in peace to the brother Jordan Neely, man. And this kind of, man. It's kind of crazy. I spoke on it on a couple different people platform, but I actually got to watching the videos and listening to the things that they're reporting on the news. And it's a tragedy for a couple different reasons. You know what I mean? It's a tragedy that this man's life was taken that easily. My take on it is, cause they're promoting how the guy was a Marine, trained Marine or whatever. You know what I mean? And this, if you actually a trained Marine, anything trained with combat, you know you know what that chokehold can do to a person. You know when to release that chokehold from any individual. You can feel the body. Man, I used to wrestle. I used to wrestle, man. I'm a state champion wrestler. So it's like, man, the chokehold. And once you have that larynx tucked and you got that arm on that bicep, man, that's instant wind cut off. You can feel a person's body when it's you can. I don't even know how to describe the actual feeling, but when you have some type of physical combat training or practice, you can tell when you have a person's body under control. That was past, even if because they're saying he came on talking crazy or whatever. You know what I mean? There is no fucking proof of that. But that's for starters. And even if he was saying he don't care about living, he's hungry, he wants some food, whatever, man. You, we've all seen like special need people or people with mental issues that can just talk. You know what I mean? Just recklessly talk and say anything. If nobody's making a physical approach towards you or towards someone else on that train, man, like you have to, man, you got to compose yourself. What? And man, if you were gonna shoot the video, I should have shot the whole fucking video. And that man, don't shoot a part where there's no lead up. And one man say he came on there, you know what I mean, talking crazy, talking about he don't care about living and he wanted to eat, was hungry, and he'll go to jail for the rest of his life. If that man didn't pull out any type of weapon to threaten anybody, man, Jay, what's up? What's up, man? Appreciate you. Cupid, man, what it do? What it do? It's like, man, if he didn't do any type of threatening anything towards anybody, no threatening motion, didn't pull out any type of weapon or anything, you can assume whatever you want to assume. What he might have had, that's BS to me right there. And I've wrestled, man, like college, you know what I mean, state type wrestling. That chokehold, you can feel a person's body, man, when you have a person under control. If that man was Marine trained, you worst case scenario, it should be manslaughter. You know what I mean? It should be manslaughter. That's at the very least, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. From what I saw in the video. And the other gentleman, the one that's holding his legs, the one that talks at the end of that video, the one holding his legs, holding him down with his arm, pulling his arms and shit behind him. Them two should be they attached to the fucking hip like a tag team. Both of them should need to be charged. The other gentleman that had the book bag on, he had just like he was like having a touch on a man's shoulder or whatever, like more of a gentle touch, like telling them to try to calm down. I don't see no, you know what I mean? Anybody touching that man, really, they all supposed to, anybody touch him, supposed to get charged with whatever's going on with that situation. But the one gentleman with the book bag, wasn't threatening. His wasn't violent. His wasn't physical. But he was just like touching the guy pretty much with like a calming touch. You know what I mean? That chokehold was overkill. That was murder. Exactly. That's murder to me. Only reason I say maybe the least he should get is manslaughter. That's at the very least. But it'd be hard to do the first degree because you can't. It's gonna be hard to prove the intent. But I do have one theory. You have to listen. Listen to that man, the other guy that talks at the end, the one that's telling them how both of them was trained military. They knew how to do this. He even shit himself, pulling the man's leg up, real braggadocious about what had just happened. To me, it almost seemed like you could have saw those two guys at a VA office or something, and they just sporadically talking what they would do if something XYZ would have happened to them. It almost seemed like they had discussed what they would do if something would ever happen to them. Not this particular person or anything. It almost seemed to me like them two guys know each other or been in the same presence of each other or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, he definitely, the amount of time he had to feel the body go limp. There's no way he didn't. And if they try to pull the card, he blacked out because of the military, whatever, man, stop that shit. Stop allowing these, man, and salute to all the armed forces that stand up for this country, man. More power to you. I got people in my family that's in the armed forces. But stop using the cop out of they went and fought for this country, then you don't wind these men the fuck down. Y'all just drop them back in their homes. Y'all just drop them back in the community. Y'all just drop them back in the field for real. The motherfucker come right from over there. 6 hours ago, he was blowing somebody's brains out, and y'all drop him right off at his damn doorstep. And now he's here with no wind down. Y'all gotta be, and him being serving his country don't give you no fucking right to just kill anybody at will, man. It just does not to me. He was no threat at all. Unnecessary, in my opinion. Like, man, I agree, man. Until they show me something where he was physically touching somebody or trying to aggressively go at somebody, man, you don't have an assumption ain't shit. You can assume, well, maybe if he talking, you know how many times I've been on the subway or the bus, and you have somebody with mental issues, man, that just talk out the side of their damn neck. They be throwing out all kind of slurs. And I've never seen one attack anybody. You know what I mean? Thank God I haven't. But you can't naturally assume that, man, he's gonna, if he didn't no type of threatening emotion or nothing towards nobody, you got no right to put your hands on nobody. That's what starters, man. And it's like nobody on there, no other rider on that damn train was like had enough wherewithal to say, man, let him go. That's enough. And you got the other man pulling his arms and legs, holding his shit down. He was the black dude. He was more bitch ass than something in him. And then he bragging at the end of the video. Like, it's something about them. When they do some investigating, it would not surprise me if them two gentlemen don't know each other. That would not surprise me. It almost seemed like they had discussed doing something before if they had scenarios of what could happen if somebody ever fucked with them. That's what I read from it. I could be wrong, but I don't know. For some reason, it give me that type of feel. Like them two dudes had actually discussed that at one point or another. Not for this gentleman, but man, somewhere along the line, man, definitely heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and this is another thing. Homelessness, man. Homelessness is like, man, that's a serious situation that, man, all of these cities, that city to city, man, is having it's a problem, and it's so much money. That crazy. No one said that. That's enough. Exactly. Nobody on that train was, hey, bro, let it go. All right, you got him. Nothing. It's like, man, come on. It's like it's crazy. And we got like he was a homeless. He seemed like a homeless man with some mental issues who just happened to run up on a rogue ass former military motherfucker that particular day. And man, that's the least is going to be manslaughter. You know what I mean? That's or second degree murder. So it's going to be hard. If they charge him with first degree murder, he'll fuck around and beat it. He'll mess around and not get convicted if they charge him with first degree murder. Because you can't say premeditated unless they have something, and it could possibly be some type of evidence with them two men speaking about doing just that to somebody. And I feel like they will. I feel like that's somewhere along the line, them two dudes are connected to each other. Man, that's just my feeling. But it's like, man, homelessness, man. Why did they hold them for so long? Heartless, having zero heart, that's a black heart, man. That's having a black heart. There's no way when you when you when you when you cut off somebody's larynx in that windpipe, you feel that body twitching. You can feel, and if you've been trained for this, like they promoting, you know what I mean, trained by the government, you know. I just wrestled for a living, you know what I mean, growing up. And I know when you get, man, you grab somebody around that fucking neck, you can feel it in their body when you have control and they submitting to you. You can feel it. You can feel it in your body. You can feel that the limpness slash heaviness coming in their body that you are controlling, man. Sonny Blocker, what's up? What up, man? Appreciate you, man. What it do to you? And it's like, man, that's totally out of order, man. And it's like that in itself, the kid, then manslaughter at the very least. I say, man, if they want to win the case, second degree murder. First degree, it's gonna be hard to prove that because it's not premeditated. But man, homelessness, man. That was a homeless man with seemed like with some mental issues. A lot of man. This is a touchy one here because this man, it's a lot of family members that just leave they people out there just hanging to dry with mental issues, and they just man be on the streets a lot. But there's also a lot of people that be homeless that choose to be out there. I've run across a few in my lifetime that just choose to be out there. Family don't they have money set up and everything, but they choose to be in the street. But there's so much money that's distributed to these cities for homelessness that never even makes it to these programs and shit. There was an issue here in Baltimore. They had man, they had did all the gift cards and like donated money and shit. Then the city and state had so much money set to the side for these things in the city, and they never make it to these fucking programs. That money just be getting split up between the mayor's offices and shit. The aldermen, they lace their pockets with this shit. And man, you have the homelessness problem, man. Most major cities, when you go downtown, that's homeless capital. That makes no fucking sense to me. How did they do it for that long too without anybody intervening too? This shit is unreal to me, man. Man, I agree with you, man. I agree. It's like nobody had enough. Man, bro, all right, you got him. That's enough. Let him go. And then he deprecate himself. You know what I'm saying? And then, man, like, come on, man, y'all, it's a little too much for me, man. And I don't think we should. I see people, I saw a few people labeling it black and white. I don't think it was more so black and white. I think that was just bad place for one man and two other men that just don't give a fuck. I don't think it was more so just about black and white. I think it was more so about proving you was tougher than a motherfucker. Them two dudes seem attached together like tag team to me. For some whatever reason, that's how I feel about it. But it's like, man, we got to pay more attention to the homeless shit in our cities and in our communities, man. Do that mean you just go take somebody in? No, that's not what I mean, man. But I think we got to open our hearts up a little bit more, man. You see something, we throw away so much shit that man that can be just given. You know what I mean? That can be just given to so many people. As I got older, holiday time and stuff like that, Man, my ex-wife, matter of fact, man, my ex-wife used to, man, that leftover dressing in turkey and shit, man, I would take it downtown. I would give it away. You know what I mean? Because we gonna wind up, you eat on it 2 days, you gonna wind up throwing a whole pan of shit away. We waste so much food in this country, man. And the homelessness in every city is off the charts. You know what I mean? Like for real. Dude was a Marine. He knew exactly what he was doing. Heard he held him in a choke for more than 10 minutes straight. Yeah. Now see now I saw, man, Jay, I saw I thought they said like 2.5. I mean he held him for 10 minutes. Yeah, that's murder. That's intent. That's with intent, man. Hey man, you can't do that. And if he held him that long in a chokehold for 10 minutes, that motherfucker crazy off the rip. He shouldn't be on the street. Period. He's supposed to be in a fucking psych ward somewhere, man. Ain't no way you think you can hold somebody 10 minutes in that damn chokehold. You ain't crushed their larynx, man. It's not possible. There's no way you could even thought that. So it's like, man, we gotta. New York need to put the pressure on this, on the mayor's office. This shit do need to be charged. And they say all they did was question him and let him go free. That's where I think it would have been black, where the black and white come in at, right there. The initial, the initial act that happened, I don't think that was black and white. Now, when the fucking police just questioned him and he never even sat a minute behind no damn stand, he just answers a question. That I think that turned where it turned black and white at right there. Because if that was the flip side of that, nigga would have been gone to jail. My opinion. Hope you know what I mean. My opinion. And there's no way he wasn't taken into custody and this shit was figured out. For him not to even make it to a police station and they just immediately release him. Nah, I don't think I don't think that should be standard procedure in that situation. You know what I mean? I could be wrong, but that's my opinion on it. And it's like, man, we gotta get more, man. Start giving a fuck a little bit more, man. It's like, man, we all, especially big cities like New York, Chicago, the L trains in Chicago, man. I've seen a lot of people get whooped on the train. I've seen people get their stuff taken, changed. Now you see some of everything on the subways and the L trains. So it's like, and we used to have what was they called? The Guardian Angels. I think that's what they used to be called. When I was coming up, the Guardian Angels, they used to just patrol the trains, and they was like a man, a damn like a security group within it. They almost was like I don't even know the exact terminology. What the hell a Guardian Angel used to be? They used to have the red suits, the red derbies and shit. And they used to just patrol the L trains in Chicago, like trying to keep crime down. But the crazy part about it, the city of Chicago was against them. You know what I mean? They used them like they was looking at them like they was some type of terrorists or some shit. But they were just trying to keep the man because in Chicago, a lot of women when I was growing up in the 80s and shit, 70s and 80s, I can remember it. A lot of women used to get raped on the trains and shit. So it's a lot that goes on them trains and subways. But if that man didn't make no threatening act or nothing towards anybody, man, there's no reason for that. That man, that brother shouldn't be deceased right now. You know, that definitely should not be. And we gotta stop pressuring these damn congressmen and shit, man. Where that money that's acclimated to these cities for homelessness, man, where that money's going, man? Stop putting some pressure on these motherfuckers. We gotta quit letting just anything happen. And we accept it like that's what we have to deal with. What can we do? Man, if we gotta start voting for the right people. Fuck them presidential awards all the time. You gotta know these aldermen, these senators and shit that's in your district. You know what I mean? Where you live at. Who are you letting in your office where you live? We got to pay more attention to that. If they not putting that money that's set forth for your trash to be dumped properly and cleaned up from the trash man, your subways to be cleaned up properly, your that money that's acclimated for the homelessness in this area, them shouldn't be the people we let be in office, man, doing anything that they choose to do. That's one key factor that, man, we need to start paying attention to on a whole broad scale of different reasons. You know what I mean? My opinion. What's crazy too is how Neely was arrested so many times, but they never did anything to help the dude. How are you going to arrest someone like 40 times and let him go again and again? He's still homeless. Exactly. This is what I was talking to on one guy yesterday. They said over 40 times. What was those for? I don't promote that he had 40 arrests, but I guarantee him being homeless and probably having some mental issues, how many of those was probably like disturbing the peace. You know what I mean? Hiding up in the bando, shit like that. Yeah, those are technically arrests, but it ain't like there was 40 arrests, him busting nobody across the head or him joking a woman up. You understand what it? The 40 arrests don't always your jacket look bad, but how many of those was threatening towards somebody or something physical? You know what I mean? That's the we need to pay attention to that. Don't just let that so many arrests be painted the picture that they painted this dude. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. New York City bail reform is the problem. I heard that too, Jay. I definitely heard that. I've definitely heard it. Yeah, exactly. Fortnite. It's like, man, they 40 arrests. It's 10 of those drug charges. Another 5 robberies. Another, you know what I mean? What are they? You know what I mean? That could be shit. Those 40 arrests could be he put a candy bar in his pocket. You know what I mean? Like, come on, it's levels of arrest. You know what I mean? What you can't stain a person on all of his arrests. That could just be man trespassing. Man, homeless. He probably 25 of those might be trespassing charges. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, if they gonna promote how many arrests he got, let us know what those arrests was, man. So you don't put a false label on this dude. For real, for real. It's like, man, that's just my take on it, man. I was feeling that this morning. I'm breezing through it, man, and it's like, nah, we need, man, don't we should not allow this to just blow over real easy. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, just let them do anything on this case. I had a young lady tell me yesterday. She said by the dude being a Marine, the the regular courts are probably not going to take this case on. It's going to have to be picked up by damn it. She said make it a federal case or something because she named a case here in Baltimore. They it would almost be biased for them to have him in court or some shit. She was telling me, I'm gonna tag this with. I'm gonna get exactly what she was saying to me, and I'm gonna tag it on this video. But she was saying because there'd be a conflict of interest if the regular courts was like what's to convict this dude because he's attached to the government or some bullshit. Either way, it's some bullshit. But she 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 explained it to me a little bit more than I can explain it to y'all right now. But I'm gonna find out about that. I mean, you can get arrested 40 times when you're doing actual real shit. The dude was troubled and they never helped him out at all. What's the point even arresting the dude time and time again? Thank you. And when you're in a certain area, like the homeless people I've seen, man, you can be in one area forever. So the police know him. You know what I mean? The likelihood of those cops in that area, everybody knows. So why keep repeatedly arresting him for him to get out with a no bail, to get his own recon? You know what I mean? Like all of that, man. All of that comes into play, man. Yeah, and you have some officers that arrest a homeless guy like that, thinking they looking out for him to get him off the streets for a night. You know what I mean? Because you get to know people when you steady having these same beats forever. You get to know who's in the community. So some of them officers might have just that take him in on a cold winter night. He might get locked up 5 times that winter just for get him a meal and get him off the fucking street for a night. You know what I mean? So we gotta don't let them brain fuckers, man. And you know what I'm saying? Give us the 52 fake outs on all this stuff, man. For real, for real. Man, I remember under Giuliani dudes was going to Rikers Island for a bag of weed. Now anything up. Man, that's like, and I heard about that, man. That's when that was the stop and frisk era, right? It's like, man, and Giuliani fucking crook, man. he that fucker should be in jail. He should have been in prison, man. For real, for real. And it's like, yeah, for real, man, Fortnite. It's like, man, Feinstein, I'm sorry about that. It's like you gotta think it's still some officers that do have they heartstrings playing a certain shit, man. I bet you some of them arrests was just to get his ass off the street. Cause man, New York get cold. New York like Chicago, that motherfucker get cold. That hawk coming from around the buildings for real, man. So man, I just wanted to, man, I appreciate all y'all tapping in, man, giving your input and everything, man. I'm gonna definitely follow this, man, cause I don't, man, I don't like, man, I'm in, I don't like the black and white issue all the time. I'm in it for the right and the wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about, man, doing the right thing. If it's right or if it's wrong, man, all that trying to stir up the pot on some other shit. We ain't got time for that. There's enough bullshit going on in this country already. But I always try to make, because everything is not black and white. Some shit is just dead, right and wrong, you know? For real. I was definitely fully agree with you on that, brother. Man, like dead serious, man. And they just because it's a black and white person, don't mean that was the reason. Sometimes motherfuckers are just stupid and reckless. You know what I'm saying? No matter what color it is, for real. And fuck all the racial what happened was wrong, and that's that. And that's just that. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. That's how I stand on it, man. That color line don't do nothing for me, man. For real. As long as you, man, I respect men and women as men and women. I don't give a fuck what color you is, and I demand it back, no matter what color you is. That's how I roll with it, man. For real, man. But I appreciate all y'all tapping in, man. I'm gonna keep everybody in the loop. Anything I find out on it, I'm gonna definitely put it up here, man. So, man, Fonz Night, J.E. What's up in here, man? Who else? Man, y'all choose, man. Sonny, man, my guy Sonny, what up, man? I appreciate all of y'all, man. Definitely, man. Keep checking me out, man. I'm trying to do more content, man. But it'd be hard for me just to get on here to just say anything, man. I try to when I put my voice on something, it's something that I mean. You know what I mean? Something I believe in. I can't just do no content just to get on here rah-rah, man. You know, my shit a little different, man, for real. But I appreciate all of y'all, man. Man, definitely do. Man, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, Chicago's finest, man. Thank y'all. Easy. Everybody be safe. Appreciate All right, man. Thank you. I'll let you later, man. Appreciate one.